Hello everybody, my name is Marlo and today I'm going to show you how to build this super simple survival bunker in Minecraft, which is a perfect home as a starter base for your new world. Before we get building, let me go through the materials list with you all. So everything inside of this chest are all of the blocks that we're going to be placing down today. Starting off at the top here with some stripped oak log, followed by some stripped birch log, and then we have all of the spruce variants along the top here, as well as 3 oak trapdoors. We also have some polished andesite that's going to be going on the walls of the bunker underground, but you can change this up for another block if you would prefer something else. We then have everything else that's going to be helpful in survival: barrels, furnaces, crafting bench, chest, a bed which of course can be any colour, and then a cartography table, loom and stone cutter. And everything else at the bottom here is pretty much the miscellaneous items. So we have 6 ladders, 6 dirt which we are then going to till with a hoe and plant our carrots on, or potatoes or wheat or even beetroots if you would like. And then we have a painting, a stone pressure plate, 2 lanterns, 2 torches, a flower pot which of course needs a flower to go inside, and then a water bucket to hydrate the dirt here that our crop's going to be planted on. And then finally at the bottom here we have 2 item frames, one of which can hold a clock and the other can hold a map, of course starting out as an empty one. Of course, the first thing to do is scout out an area to actually build this in, and really all you need on the surface level is at least a 3x4 area, but maybe just do a quick recce underground to make sure there's no caves you're going to bump into. But the very first thing we need to do is simply just pick one block here and dig down 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 blocks. We're then going to turn to the left and break 2 blocks, turn to the right and break 2 more. Face forward and break 1, 2, 3 and 4, and then basically just carve out all of the other blocks to end up with a 5x5 area. As you can see, 5 along here, 5 along here, and so on and so forth. We're then simply going to take the ceiling up by 2 more blocks so that we're just left with the bottom side of the surface level. We're going to be doing the bunker before we head up to the surface level and build the miniature home going on top of it, but it may be worth mentioning that you should cover this up with a block so you don't get a creeper falling on your head whilst building this. I'm not doing that, however, as we are in tutorial mode here and I'm trying to get as much light as possible down here so you guys can see, hence why we just have this temporary torch placed down. But we're going to grab our stripped oak logs and in each of the corners just place 4 pillars like so. And then you can face the front of it here, so underneath the hole, and on this side, the left and the right, we're going to have a line of 3 barrels going right across the top, where underneath in the middle of them, we can have a spruce slab, and on either side, we can have an upside down spruce stair. Just beneath the hole here, we're going to break these 5 blocks and actually replace them with 4 spruce planks, and on top of those we can have our ladders. Of course, come back and do that later if you have decided to fill this in temporarily. What we can then do is grab our spruce stairs and have 2 upside down facing inwards like so, and then actually hop up here and face towards the ladder and place in a spruce trapdoor so that you're left with these 2 little gaps here that we're going to utilize later with something. But for now, we're just going to fill in this 3x3 area with some spruce trapdoors. Do just bear in mind that whichever side you have the ladders placed down on is actually going to be the back of the house on the surface level. If I just hop over to this one that's already finished and show you, you open the front door as you can see, and that's where the ladders are. So mine is actually quite poorly positioned as there isn't really a great view from this side, but this is actually where the front door is going to end up. So just bear that in mind when placing all of these blocks. But now what we can do is hop down here and grab our stripped birch logs and get rid of all of the blocks on the floor and replace them with our birch. And what we're going to do for this one here is a bit of a crisscross checkerboard pattern. So 2 of them will be facing outwards and then this one will be facing sideways. Basically the trick to this is you just want to place all of the logs on the side of the block. You don't want to end up placing them on the end point here. So just repeat this pattern until you reach the other side and you should have a bit of a cool floor pattern. Of course you can always change this up for something else if you wanted to, but I'm quite a fan of this look. Next up, you're going to pick either the left or the right hand side to plant in all of your crops. I'm going to choose the right hand side here, but it honestly doesn't matter all that much. Go ahead and break those 7 blocks like I've just done there, and then in one of the 2 corners here, we're just going to break 2 of those blocks so that we're able to access the actual corner block here. fill it in with a water bucket, and then as you can see, if we place in our dirt and till it with our hoe, it will become nicely hydrated from that water bucket there. And pretty much all we need to do now is just break all of the blocks that are visible up here, including the ones underneath, because as you can see, you can actually see a pixel of the block, so we want to make sure we get them as well, and fill it in with our polished andesite. Of course, you can change it up, as I said, to another block if you would like. And not forgetting the top one up here, because underneath we're going to have a lantern to provide a nice amount of light. And of course, we can go ahead and place in whatever crop we're planting down and cover the front up with spruce trapdoors. On the remaining two sides that have these 7 blocks, we're going to go ahead and get rid of those and simply replace them with our polished andesite, like so. But for the final side round here, next to the ladders, we can break these 6 blocks and actually replace them with some furnaces, of course switching out some smokers and blast furnaces if you would like. And now we can come up to this level at the top here. So on these 2 spots, we're going to be placing in a stone cutter, which of course you'll have to hold shift on if you're clicking the furnace, and over here can be a cartography table. Now we don't really want any dirt on show, so what we can do simply here is actually break this top one here next to the cartography table and just place in a stripped spruce log, or stripped oak log I should say. On this one, however, it's a little bit different because the stone cutter isn't a full block. We're going to need to break a few more, starting off with the one behind it, then the one to the side, and then the 2 above, like so. Doing that actually makes the top level look like this, but not to worry because all of these will be covered up later on by some other blocks. We're now going to place in our bed, which I like to do directly in front of when you walk down the ladder over on this side. Now what we need to do temporarily is just break this spruce stair, and we're going to hop into this corner, grab our loom, face the ladder, and then jump and place it down, which as you can see we then get this texture. Now these 4 pixels are a minor modification in my texture pack, but generally the side of a loom kind of looks like a set of drawers, I think. On top of it we can have a chest, and then just go ahead and replace the spruce stair. Over on the other side, we're going to have a crafting table with another chest on top as some extra storage, and then in the center here is where we can place our clock, because in an underground bunker, you really have no idea what the time is. And for the final side over here on the left, we're going to make a little bit of a desk, starting out with a spruce slab in the center, and then we're going to have 2 spruce stairs either side of it, like so. In the center here, we're going to make a bit of a laptop design, doing something super simple by having a stone pressure plate, and then just cover up this block temporarily and place in a painting and just cycle through until you get one that takes your fancy. I think this one is going to do because we got it twice in a row. So there's just our little laptop. And then to the right hand side, we're going to have a lantern, and to the left, we're going to have a flower pot. So that is the bunker all done. The very final thing to do is actually head up to the surface level here, and before we build the miniature home, we need to cover up this dirt block, which you could do using 2 things. You could either place in a painting like so, or you could put a map inside of an item frame. You can't, however, put anything like a trapdoor, for example, as this isn't a full block. We have to use some sort of entity. So if you right click an empty map, you will get a map that looks something like this, maybe, depending on your biome. You can go ahead and place it in the item frame, and as you can see, that nicely covers up the entire block, and we get a good overview of the surrounding area. Now we can start work on the little house that's going on the surface level here. So what we need to do is actually place in our spruce door on the back of this block here, just in front of the map, as that is where the entrance is going to be. As I said, you walk into the ladder. But now we can get our stripped oak logs and just have 2 of them on each of the corner blocks here, so we get 1 block in between. And then we can grab our spruce stairs and have 1 of those in each of the 3 spots, and have an oak trapdoor on top of the stairs as a little bit of a window. And then very quickly we can just open up the door here and place in the final ladder, which as you can see leads us very easily into the bunker. Coming back up to the surface level here, we do need to build this thing a roof. So we're going to have a spruce trapdoor on top of all of the pillar logs, and then we can have a spruce slab in between them all with a spruce plank in the very center here. And then coming down to where our doorway is, either side of it we can have a spruce fence with 2 torches on top of them. And then finally, as an extra little bit of added detail, we can have some spruce buttons on the bottom of all of these pillars. So that's, everybody, is the underground survival bunker all done. We are over with the pre-built one here because, let's be honest, it does look a little bit better than the one we built today. It's actually facing the correct orientation. But thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you did enjoy, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.